Hi, everyone. What a joy it's been to be able to bring you life-changing stories. You know, one of our visions here at the station is to share Christ in compelling ways. And what better way is there to do that than to hear somebody's personal journey with the Lord, and the way that someplace like the Orlando Rescue Mission has done such an incredible job with homes, with families, with people who have maybe some challenges in their lives. And today we have with us Alan Harden, who is President and CEO of the Orlando Union Rescue Mission, and he's here to introduce to you someone whose life-changing story is going to really impact your life. Thank you so much, Alan, for being here again with us.
Thank you, Barbara. It's a pleasure to be here, and it's a joy this morning to share with you the story from one of our people who have been very successful, Alyssa.
Yes.
And she's going to share with you how God has changed her life and all that has happened in her life and the new job that she has through the ministry of the Orlando Union Rescue Mission.
That's great. Alyssa, welcome. We're so glad that you're here with us today.
Thank you.
And we love a success story, and your life is a success, and as you go forward, it will become more and more that way as well. But something brought you to a low point in your life that made you have to look for some place to stay and led you. The Lord, I'm sure, was the one who led you to the Orlando Union Rescue Mission. Tell us about that fateful day.
Well, I had been living with a friend with my two kids in their living room, and I had gone to church because I was going to church before I got to the mission, and I went to church to find my cell phone. I had lost my cell phone, and the lady working at the front desk was also a case manager at the mission. So when I went in to find my phone, I actually found a home instead.
Wow.
So she made a couple calls.
Had you heard of that before? Had you ever heard of that?
I had actually
station?
applied 3 months before that day that I walked into church,
Really?
and I realized who it was, and I was like, can we talk about the mission? And she said, of course, and she made some calls, and it took me another month, but the day I walked in, I was praying to get into the mission. I knew I had to be there.
Because you had come from a situation where apparently there was some abuse going on with your husband, and you were trying to get out of an abusive situation?
It wasn't necessarily abusive. It was just, you know,
just a bad
sour,
situation.
Very sour.
Yes.
And we had separated, and I was staying for the last couple of months without him, but yeah.
Well, there will be a bunch of moms out there listening today, and maybe even some single dads. When you're in a position where you are by yourself trying to raise two young boys, I mean, that is tough. One salary might do it, it might not do it.
And I was out of a job.
And if you didn't have a job, there was no hope for you at all to be able to do it. Yeah. So tell us about day one at the mission.
Oh, goodness. I didn't know what to do. No, day one, it was just getting in the room, and the kids were so excited.
Good. There was no embarrassment, right? They didn't make you feel like a lesser citizen.
They make you feel welcome. They make you
Good.
feel like you're home. The room I'm in is beautiful, and it has its own bathroom and walk-in closet and like bunk beds, which my kids were so very excited about. And
oh, I've seen the rooms. I think they are incredible, very, very nice. And there are certain rules that you have to make sure you keep your room looking nice. There's inspection. I mean, it was so clean, Alan, and so disciplined. But one of the things that, and this might not have been a problem with yours to begin with, but one of the skills that is taught there at the mission is self-discipline, right? How important is that to you and for you to be able to teach your boys?
Well, it's very important. You have to be able to live, well, the whole God discipline thing, like you have to live a disciplined life. So if it's in what you're doing every day, if it's keeping your room clean, it's the quality of the life you live. It's all about discipline.
But it's even having your quiet time and even growing in the Lord. And, you know, it takes a lot of discipline. There's no other word for it than if we're going to grow in our relationship with the Lord. And, Alan, that's a lot of what you're trying to do with the residents there, is to disciple them, to help them along their way so that they not only have life skills, but they also have skills to grow in their spiritual walk. How important has that been in Alyssa's life?
It's absolutely important, not only in her life, but in all of our lives, and particularly as we're teaching our residents how to become self-sufficient and how to live their lives victoriously. It's all about understanding that we are accountable. and that we've got to follow the rules. From a biblical perspective is where we start. And it's very helpful for them once they make a decision and understand that whether you're successful or not depends on you. That's your decision. We're going to help you, but you need to work with us. And if you won't work with us, we can't help you. So discipline is important for them to understand that you really want to get it together, you really want to have a new life, then you've got to want to, and you've got to be committed to do it, because us helping you will not make any difference if you don't care.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you're getting ready to go out into the real world. You've been at the mission for a little over a year, but you have a job now.
I do.
And are there any sort of maybe a little bit of fear and trepidation going out on your own? I mean, you're still a single mom, right?
I'm still a single mom, but if you trust that God has a plan for your life, then it'll be okay. I'm excited.
Good, good. So your hopes and dreams are, what does that look like for you? Alyssa, do you want an apartment? Do you want your own house one day?
I want to buy a house. I just got my real estate license. So.
Good, good.
Love to buy a house.
The mission has placed you in a position to not only be able to get out there, but to have hopes and dreams for the future that are realistic. I mean, you can do this, right? You know you can do this.
I know I can. Yes.
So, Alan, tell us about what you think, what you anticipate is getting ready to happen with this precious young lady.
I have no doubt she's going to be successful. And she has two beautiful, beautiful kids.
Good, good.
We will miss them.
Yeah.
And she's going to be successful, and she's going to do great. And that's wonderful, because that's what it's all about. That's what makes it worth it.
Yeah.
And all the work that we do and what the mission has done for the past 66 years, Alyssa, her stories, people like that, make it all worth it, make it worth every cent that we spend.
That's right.
Changing
and it does
lives.
take an enormous amount of money to run a facility like the Orlando Union Rescue Mission. And if you were to speak to our viewers today about ways that they can help support the mission, support life-changing stories like Alyssa's and some of the others that we've seen in the last few weeks, what would you tell our viewers today?
What I would ask you is that you become involved in the work, in God's work at the mission. That can happen by being a volunteer, but more so than that, you can invest your life, financial resources into people, helping people like Alyssa, making a difference in people's lives, and seeing a change in our community, and enhancing the value of life for our neighbors. This is what you can do, personally involved in making a difference. And particularly since we receive no money whatsoever from any government agency of any kind. We're totally supported by people who care that we teach Christ and that we teach people how to live a victorious life through Christ and are responsible citizens.
That's great, Alan. Thank you so much again for being here with us today. And Alyssa, God bless you. You are going to be a rock star out there in the real world. I can't wait to hear about your journey and all your successes. And viewers, if you would like to volunteer at the Orlando Union Rescue Mission, I know that they would love to have you come down there. There are plenty of jobs for you to do. The other thing I would encourage you to do is to take the tour. When I went down there, I just saw all kinds of wonderful things, and my eyes were open to what the homeless and hurting community is all about. And I would suggest, highly recommend, that you take your children and your grandchildren and take the tour. That's all you need to do. Take the tour, and then you'll want to pray for this mission, and you'll want to invest in some of the lives like Alyssa's. Well, we're getting ready to have some fun in the kitchen with What's Cooking, so stay with us as we go to the kitchen and see what's going on in there today.